And yesterday we learned a lot, but we just stop at the props, and today we are going to start with a very important topic, which is known as state. And as you know, I'm covering class based React first, then I will go to the functional hook based React, means hook based React. And it is must, as I have told earlier also, it is must to do the class based React. Then only you know the pain, then only you can go to the hook based React, and you can will learn it in a better way. And right now also class based React is, it has gone nowhere. So most of you want to get a job after learning there. It is not like that you are going to do some freelancing project. If you're going to do freelancing project, I'll be more than happy to do you are doing a freelancing project. But most of you are going to get a job, and when you're going to work in a company, what will happen, you might be using class based component. If even the project is 2 years, 1 year old also, you will be using the class based component. So class based components have not gone anywhere. As I have told, class based component takes a bit of a long time to teach. So it will maybe today and tomorrow it will take, and then after that hook based we are going to do. And I want to guide people what to do after that, because only learning this basics and all of React.js is not enough. You have to do a lot of projects and show them on your LinkedIn profile. So that is how you get a job. Okay, so as always I will say attendance from or day 2 will be given at the end. And as always, you have to give the attendance on all the day to get the participation certificate. React.js is a highly demand skill, and to get this certificate means a lot. And you will also get a promotion from me. So try to get this certification. Okay, and try to get this certificate. Okay, so with this, okay, let me share my screen too. This is where we left in the previous class, all those props and all those things and all. Hope you're all able to see my screen. Yeah, so this is where we left. And as I've told, today we are going to learn about a very important concept in React, which is the backbone of React, which have made React, and that is state. And state were first introduced in class based component, and we are going to learn them. And state is now there in the functional component also as hooks. Okay, so but what is the state, let us understand. So for that, I'm going to create a new file known as counter.js, counter.js, and this will be a class based. So I will use a shortcut RCC and export default counter. I'll do. Okay, so this is there. Now what is the state? So state is something through which is local, and that state can be means changed in a way. Okay, so okay, you can see it later more. It's good. Anyways, you know everything is available on my YouTube channel. Okay, so then we'll have the state. Generally we do the state in a constructor. Okay, so our constructor also have a shortcut which is rconst. Okay, so see, so let me now do a state count of 0. Okay, count of 0. So what the hell I just did? So see, constructor, so because it's a class, so class have something known as a constructor, and a constructor is something which runs only the first time when the class is loaded. So this is not a React thing, this is a class thing, which is actually ES6 class. But why we are taking super props? We are taking super props because React is extending from component. It is inheriting from component. So unless we take super props, we are not able to use all of the features of React. And then this is the state, the main thing which React have. This dot state equal to an object, and this dot state, we take this, we use this operator a lot in React class based thing. This because when we use this, we can use it at a lot of other places. This operator with this, it is like maybe like var. So we can use it at a lot of different places, but it has its own issues. So we do it with this dot state. See, and it's an object, so we can take many different state in this only, in this dot state only. So what I'm taking, a count is of 0, a state I'm taking which have a count of 0. Okay, the count is of 0 state. Okay, so now how to read this in a render, so I'll come here, maybe I'll do a h2 and count. As we have seen earlier, if I give something inside a JSX, then the value will be shown. But how this will be shown? I want the value of count. So it is simple. This dot state dot count will show the value, because this is an object. This is a key. So I want the value 0. So this is the state.count I will do. So I will save it. And now I will, okay. So the next thing I have to show is the counter. I have to show. I don't need all these things now. So I will comment them out. This is something which is coming from the previous class. Comment them out. And then we'll come here and counter will be imported. In fact, what I am going to do, so I will remove it because this all we know. Counter, okay, counter, it's been done. And and now go back. So localhost, I have already started the project. npm, okay, it is still compiling. I don't know why. Nowadays React have become very small, very slow sometimes. I don't, or I am live streaming, that's the reason it is been slow. Okay, it is done. So I'll go, so, and the count of 0 will be shown. The 0 is the main thing. 0 is been shown. Okay, so that is the main thing. Let me make it like this. Okay, so the 0 has been shown. So that is done. Okay, so now what to do? Now count is been, state is been shown, but the main thing is that how to increment the state. Okay, how to increment this state. Okay, so I think I have to increase the font size a bit. Okay, so I've increased the font size, so even mobile you are able to see it much better. Okay, so this is there. How we are going to increment the state, because this is a count variable, and the main thing is that I want to increment this count. Okay, I want to increment this count. So the first thing which I'm going to do, I will have a button first. Okay, so let me have a button first. So we'll have a React fragment because I have to wrap a button also. So as we have seen in the earlier class, so we need to wrap it in a React fragment, and then I will have a button and increment and on click equal to, okay, so on click. So on click, again I'm taking the camel case. I'm taking the camel case on click. In React we always take the camel case, and when we are going to on click on it, it will call a function known as this dot, maybe anything I can take. This dot increment, maybe count I will take. This dot increment count thing. Okay, so now what will happen? So I want to increment the count. The moment I click here, I want to increment the count. So this increment count, I will show it here. Increment count and increment count function, and there is a way through which we increment the count. Means we change the state, and we cannot change the state directly, and we are going to see why we cannot change the state directly. So there is a method known as set state, through which only we can update the state. So we are going to do that. This dot set state and count is equal to this dot state dot count plus 1. So see, this is how we change it. So this is a method. It will take an object, and object will have this count, and count whatever is the current count plus 1. So this is important to take this method, this dot set state. It is very important to take this dot set state. We are going to see soon. So I'll do this, and then I'm going to come here, and I'm going to do an inspect, because we are going to see an error actually now. So increment I'll do. I want the count to be increased. I'll do. Say I got an error. Okay. So that error is cannot access property set state. This is undefined, and this is a perfect error. So this is actually undefined. It is not knowing what is this. What is this, and we are going to go through it in the soon in the next section also. We are going to learn about it. So this is not a React problem, this is a JavaScript problem. Okay, so it is even not understanding what is this dot set state in the increment count context. So there are actually 4 ways to solve it, and we are going to see the 4 ways to solve this issue. And this is one of the reason that people React is moving away from class-based component, because this keyword itself is a very complicated thing in JavaScript. In fact, there is one book dedicated to hold this keyword, and that book is, you don't know JavaScript, there is a book, very good book, you don't know JS, and only that it is a 5-book series. If you want to deep dive into JavaScript, you can do that, but I don't suggest it because it takes more than 1 year to deep dive into JavaScript. Then you will keep on learning JavaScript only. So that is there, and this keyword is so complicated that one whole book is dedicated to this keyword. Okay, so this keyword, it is actually losing its context. It doesn't know what does this means. So in the context of the increment count, so there are many ways to solve it. Right now we are going to solve it through one method, and we are going to look into detail into those method. So that is a very old kind of method, but we are going to see it. So this, we have to do this dot increment count equal to this dot increment count dot bind this. So there is a bind method in JavaScript. So this bind method, what it does, it's bind whatever you pass to it to that thing. So this is binded to increment count through these things. Okay, so this is something which is required if you're going to use it like this. So save it. Now that issue will be not happening. So if I come here and click it, and it is increasing, and it is working fine. Okay, it is working fine. Okay, so the thing is that it is working fine. Okay, so as I've told, why this dot set state, why I'm using this dot set state. We'll now look into the main thing, why we are using this dot set state. I could have directly do the, let me comment this out, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this dot state dot count. This I'm going to do. Let us try to do that. This dot state dot count equal to this dot state dot count plus 1. I'm going to directly do that. Why to use the set state? Okay, let me do that. Okay, clg console log, and let us have a console log also. So let us know what is this dot state dot count. Save it. Okay, I will go back here, and now hope it is refreshed. Yeah, it is refreshed. Okay, now I will increment the count. Okay, increment 0 0. See down, the count is increasing, the state count is increasing, but it is not getting incremented. Why it is not getting incremented? So this dot set state is actually, it does something known as DOM upgrade, means DOM refresh. Why? How it does that? Virtual DOM refresh. Because whenever the this dot set state is run, this render component which is there in a class based thing, this render component is been rerun. So see, actually my state is getting changed, but this is not getting refreshed. And this is where the power of React comes. With when we use the this dot set state, this is getting refreshed, and with jQuery and all the other things, this is very difficult to achieve. And DOM also, it has got some different logic and complicated logic. But this, so whenever we increment the state, we should always do it with this dot set state, so that the render component is been rerun, and then we are going to access the latest states. Okay, so that is done. So if I now, let me remove this, and I will remove this anyway. It's the error code, and let me come back here, delete it, increment count 1 2 3 4. But see one thing which we have just found out, that it is 5 and it is 4, it is 6, it is 5, one behind, always one behind. Why always one behind? Why it is always one behind? It is always one behind because actually this dot set state is very fast. The moment the this dot set state runs, it will render it, and when it comes back, then only see here, from here it will go here directly, then it will come back, and then this console.log will be done. So it is always behind. So it is not causing any problem to us. But sometime what we want, not this thing, but sometime what we want, before this dot set state which renders this thing, we want to run something. And this is a special case which I am telling. And if you want to do something like this in the this dot set state, we can do a special thing. Okay, so I'll tell that a special thing. I don't know why it is coming. Okay, so that special thing is, I will cut it, and then you'll mostly see that people will do this like this. Okay, and here the second parameter is there, in which I will call a arrow function like this, we're soon going to use a lot of arrow function, and this dot state dot count is there. So what does that means? That the this dot set state, it will update the state, then run this console thing, and then go to the render. Okay, save it. Now if I come here and 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 5 6, so it is also updating at the same way. Okay, so that is done. Now we are going to look into another very important special case. Now again, this is a special case which I have told. Now we are going to look into another special case of set state. And as I'm telling special case, these are rarely used, but you should know because a lot of time it is used. Okay, it is not like rarely used, maybe 5-10% time it is 5% time it is used. So what I'm going to do, I want to have a new function which is increment 5. Okay, increment 5 I'll have. And if I have a increment 5 function, I will again have to bind that. Okay, first thing, so always you have a function, this is a problem, you have to bind this, but there are some good solutions which you are going to see soon. Okay, so increment 5 is the function. I will come here and increment 5 like this, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to call this increment count. Now the moment I click here, and it should call this increment count 5 times. So I will call like this dot increment count 5 times. I'm call it. Okay, so that is done. Now okay, so now I'm going to click it, and it should be increased by 5. Okay, it should be increased by 5. Click it 1. But see one thing in this log, in in this console, what happens if the same thing is been shown much time? This means it is repeated 5 times. Okay, again I'll do again 5 times 10, but it is 2, so it is not 10, it is not 15, it is 3. So why this is happening? This is happening because of React. See what React sees. See, if a lot of this dot set state, here I'm calling this function a lot of time, so this dot set state is happening at a lot of faster rate. So when this happens in React, it for to do the performance optimization, it will do a single update only. So in this kind of cases, what we need to do, we need to do a special thing. Okay, first thing is that I will remove this thing, I don't need it much. Okay, so the thing is that here what we do, so set state we are going to use in a different way. Okay, so and that different way is, let me remove this thing first. And there is a thing known as previous state or previous state, anything you can call it. Previous state we'll call, and then previous state we will, now inside this we are going to have this count, like maybe not one line, so it is too much. Okay, so now this count will be dependent on the previous state plus dot count plus 1. So this is a function call sort of, and we are using the previous state now. Okay, so previous state is been done. Now if I go here, anyways I'm not using this 5 10 15, so this is only for special cases in which I want the previous state means one state just before that. So previous state is that. Okay, so these are the different kind of states, and we are going to use the normal one also only the most of the time. Okay, so this is done. Now we are going to, okay, I should not have removed those things. Okay, so we are going to learn about destructuring actually. Okay, destructuring we are going to learn. Let me bring them back. Okay, okay, so we are going to learn about destructuring. So destructuring is a ESX way through which what happens, means it is not necessary, but you will find a lot of developers uses this props thing. We are going to shorten it, this props thing. Okay, so where was I? So okay, so this greetings thing is there. So first we are going to do the destructuring in a in a functional component, then we are going to do the destructuring in a class-based component. Okay, so this is done. So greetings, yeah, we have this greetings. So where is this greetings? Greetings we have. So go to this greetings. This thing won't change how we are passing the data, but how we are consuming it, that will change. So greetings is there, like props is coming like this, and we know that props are name and all is coming like this, but we can destructure it. Okay, how to destructure it? Means the props is coming, we know there are two things, one is the name and one is the children. So this is something ES6, this is ES6, this is not something else, this is ES6 things. Okay, so name comma children, and please do subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed, and please hit the like button so that it can reach to more people. Please do that. Okay, so that it will help the channel grow and reach to more people, and more people can become a highly paid web app developer. Okay, that is my motto, to make people highly paid web app developer. And this is the React is the main thing which will help you to get paid in gold. Okay, so this is their name and children have done, and then this props I will remove, and this props dot children. So now I have destructured it, so now it is become shorter. So it is a shortcut, it is not mandatory to use it is just a shortcut. Okay, and counter also I will comment out right now, because we don't want a counter right now. Save it, save it, and see, nothing different is happening, but I'm getting everything. Hello JavaScript, hello React, hello Script. So all those things are there, all those things are there. Okay, all those things are there. So this is how props is used. Okay, but in a functional component there are two ways to use props. One is this way, and then there is another very good way. Okay, so you'll see people using both of them. So I will not use it like here, and I will let have the props here like this only. Then I will use a proper object destructuring. Actually that was also an object destructuring. This will name, and I will make this as props. Okay, and this is the proper object destruction we have seen in the ES6 class previous week. So this is done, and see, now also it will happen properly. So this is how the destruction is done. So okay, so now the next thing is that we are going to see the destructuring in uh, class-based component, and it is a bit different. Not different, actually we don't have the first method, obviously, because we don't have any parameters there. Okay, so I'll open the welcome. See, we don't have any parameters like a functional component, this parameter don't have. So we have only the second method here, not the first method, only the second method here. And the second method is like this thing we have. So const name, let me copy this, const name. But the main thing is that we have to put it inside the render, not outside it. Inside the render we have to put, and but there is no props. This is actually this dot props, these are props is there. And then in the return we have this name children like this. Save it, and it will work like same only. So these are the ways to destructure. Okay, these are the ways to destructure. And as I've told, in a counter we have seen this way to bind these things. Okay, so these are known as event binding and all in class-based component, and it causes a lot of problem in a class-based component. Okay, so what are the different ways to bind the event? We are going to look into that. Okay, so let us do a different class now. Remove it way too much. Okay, so I'll have a new class like event bind.js, event bind.js, and rcc. I'll do export default event bind, save it, and event bind is not showing me. Event bind, I'm doing it. Okay, so now here we are going to see the event binding. So let us quickly have R. So rconst is a shortcut again, and rconst I'll press the tab. Screen is blur. Please check it from your side. Do a 720p because I am doing it at full. Yeah, I'm broadcasting at 720p. So the problem is from your side. This happens a lot. You have to change the your screen, means whatever is there in the settings. Yeah, go to the settings, and the quality you do it as 720p. By default YouTube goes to the lower quality, so you have to do it. Okay, it will be okay. So that is there, and this is the state. And I hope everyone is not seeing the blur. Can someone confirm to Pradeep? Chat. Hello world. Let me change on my mobile also and see it. Okay. So yeah, it is visible. That's your data is. Just change the settings and on YouTube, and it will be fine. Okay, so this dot state I'm doing that message. So just a message, you can do anything. So a message I'm taking, previously we have taken account. Okay, so these things we have done, and then this is done, and he is this dot state dot message I'll do, and then I'll have a button, click, and on click is this dot handle click I'll do. And again we are going to see that issue, because I'm going to show 3-4 ways in which we can solve that thing. Okay, handle click, and we are going to see the better way also. And this dot at state and message might be, instead of hello world, it will be hello java script, maybe hello javascript handle click. So now, and event bind is done. Event bind is done. As we all know that if I click here, I will get the error. Now this error doesn't come here in the console, it will come. Yeah, console it will come, and this is undefined, it will say. Okay, so and we can solve this issue. And why this error is coming, let us see this also. And it is saying that this is undefined. If I remove it and I'll do a clg of this keyword and just this, and I'll do here clear it, run it. So this is undefined, this is undefined, it is coming. So that's why it was not able to read what is this dot set state. Actually it is not even able to get what is this dot set state. That's why the error have come. And we have seen the way to solve this issue and first also, but we are going to see more issues, more way to solve this issue. So let me remove this thing, but I will keep this console.log. I'll remove this thing. This is state hello javascript, and the first method is to have that bind thing here only. This dot handle click dot bind this dot handle click dot bind this I'm going to do, and save it. And so I'm binding the this to this handle click, this to this handle click. So see, now I will go back here and I will click it, hello world to hello javascript is done, and this is actually an object now. So this is actually an object and it is binding correctly. So this is binding correctly. So this is one method, and this dot handle click dot bind this, we're binding it here itself. So method number 2 is the method which we have seen earlier. So that is the method number 2. Okay, so okay, so let me use the method number 2, we comment it out. And the method number 2, we know that this dot handle click will be like this dot handle click, and then I will have to do it here. It is this dot handle click dot this dot handle click dot bind this. I'll do cut same thing, it will work fine, because now also this is done with a bind method. Bind method is a JavaScript method. Okay, so the method number 3 is through something known as a arrow function. So arrow function are actually very powerful, and arrow function, the this context is with whatever it comes, means whatever it is called with, the context of this is that only. Okay, so this I'll do, and then let me comment this out. Okay, so I will now comment this also out, comment this also out, and now we are going to call the arrow function here itself. Okay, like this, and here, and here. Save it, clear it, run it, working fine. So this is one method, but the last method is a method which we generally use in production nowadays in React. So, and in class based also, and all of this, and that is also arrow method only. But what happens, see here, I was creating the arrow method here, and this is will also be used, but this you will see will use if I am passing some parameter here, then we are going to use this thing. But the most common method is like, let me have this, and we are changing this function itself to an arrow functions, and this is the most common thing, common fix of it, to change this function itself to an arrow function. So from now onwards we are going to use this method, so nothing special need to be done. The function itself is changed to an arrow function. Arrow function, that this keyword is binded to that method. So we'll come here and click here, and JavaScript has been done. So this is the method which we are going to use. Okay, so that is done. Now okay, so now we are going to look into another topic, which is known as method as props. So see, in React, what happens, React is a library and Angular is a framework. Angular has way too many functions than React, and one of the top function of Angular is that Angular have a two-way data binding. Two-way data binding means data flows from parent to children, children to parent seamlessly. But React is not that powerful as Angular. Okay, so React have only one-way data binding. Parent data means props always flow from parent to children in React. So okay, and Angular has a way lot more ways to data binding, but React doesn't have that. React is a small library in comparison to the gigantic Angular, which takes 3 months to learn itself. So that is there, and so people or React people have also find a way to do the opposite way. So what if I want to pass the data from a child component? See, everything is a parent child. See, this app component is there, so its child is the event bind component. So um, passing some props from here, it's very easy in React. Passing from data through props is very easy in React. But what if I want to pass some data from the child component to the parent component? How I can do that? So that is done with something known as method as props. The method as props, and callback function kind of a thing it is, and we are going to see that next. Okay, so that thing is like, here in the component I'll come and I will create a parent component dot js. Okay, parent component dot js, and here rcc export default parent component I'm doing, and here are const and parent name is Robin Hood Senior, this, and then we will have a, here we'll have a greet parent function. Greet parent is like, I don't know, caps has been pressed, rent parent, then alert hello, hello. This dot state dot parent name I'm calling, but it is not that easy that I'm going to call this from here. Okay, it is not that easy. So I will have a child component. Okay, now I will have a child component. So I'll go to components and child component dot js, child component dot js. I'm going to have RAFCE. I'm going to have, and then here I'll have a simple button and greet parent is there. Okay, greet parent is there, and then okay, so now in the app I will have this parent component. So let me have this parent component in the app called parent component and parent component. Okay, so this parent component, what it have, this will actually call the child component which is in the child component child component is the same directory. So that is done, child component. Okay, so the thing is that what I want means anyways we want to pass data from the child to the parent, which we are going to see soon. But the thing is that I want this greet parent to be called from the child component, not from here, but from the child component I want to call it this greet parent thing. So how do I do it? Okay, so how do I do it? So for that, what I need to do is I will have this greet handler, any name, props name, you can take anything. This greet handler is a props name. Okay, and then I'm going to have this dot greet parent. So this props is there, and whenever this is called in a way, this dot greet parent, this function will be called, this dot greet parent function will call this greet handler is there. So I will save it, and now I'll go to the child component. Here I have a button greet parent, so I will go here and I'll do the on click this dot greet handler, not this dot greet handler, I'm wrong, it is actually props. This is props dot greet handler, because this is not this dot greet handler, this is props dot greet handler, props dot greet handler. Save it, props dot greet handler it is. So the moment, see, now let us go back. So I'll go back here, and I don't know what is coming, so I don't want this. I'll greet it and see the alert is been shown. Hello, Robinhood Senior. So this is how it is working fine. So see, now the thing you might have noticed that we are flowing the data in the opposite direction. From a child component, we are going to the parent component. From a child component, we are going to the parent component. Okay, from a child, we are going to the parent. The opposite direction we are moving. But actually, we are not moving the data right now. So how to move the data as we were very easily to move at props and all. So now we'll see how to exactly to move the data. We will move the data from the child component to a parent component, any data. So suppose I want to move some data. So first thing is that I have to move some data here. So we will pass it in the parameter. So this is sort of a trick or what React people have made. So I'll write anything. So the Singh Junior, like this. So I'm passing any data here. Okay, so like this I'm passing the data through a parameter. So now if I'm passing the data through a parameter, what will happen? It will come back here as anything I can take. Maybe I can, so the parameter is coming, so I will take it as child. So it will come back any name you can take. Okay, and from template string child, save it, go back, greet parent. Hello, Ramji Junior from Sodhi Singh Junior. So Sodhi Singh Junior, see, it is coming. So I'm passing the data from here. Here I'm passing any data as a props or anything. I'm passing it here. So this is how the data we can flow in a opposite direction in React. In opposite direction in React, we can do it. Okay, so it's time to give the attendance sheet. So I will give you all the attendance sheet so that you all can fill it. Okay. fill the details here. React DOM and React Router DOM. Okay, so router is a different thing. React DOM is nothing but whatever a DOM we means. Uh, React uses something known as a virtual DOM. Okay, React uses something known as a virtual DOM, and it is DOM. We know DOM is document object model. So whatever is there in the browser is the DOM. But React uses something known as virtual DOM. Okay, so it doesn't interact with the DOM directly, which is like that you will be seeing right now. Another that I'm not using any code like document.query selector and all those things. Actually, DOM is very powerful. It has got way more functions than React have, but React, I'm using this state concept a lot. So this state, and because I'm interacting with the virtual DOM, and behind the scene, it updates the DOM also. So DOM is nothing but all these things which you're seeing. These are DOM only, DOM elements only. A button is a DOM element. So they're DOM element. But React Router DOM, actually, it is React Router is a different thing. So React is a library, not a framework like Angular. So what happens in that? So there are certain routes are there. So suppose home is there, then you might have seen, you might have gone to some uh, something like some site in which slash contact is there. So React is a single page application. So what happens, it is slash contact and all those things. I have some very good React Router DOM videos also. React Router DOM is totally different. So it is used for routing. So that is known as routing. That is on a single page routing that you have to configure it. And if I get time, maybe I will teach, or maybe I have some very good videos I can tell about them. Okay, so that is known as React Router DOM. Okay, and that is different. And DOM word is just added. So when you install the package, it is basically it is known as React Router. Okay, and it is used for routing. It answered the question. And now what we are going to do, we are going to do conditional rendering. So a lot of time what happens, I don't want to render everything out here. Okay, so that what will happen in that case. So I will tell what is there. Okay, so we'll have something known as user greeting dot js, user greeting dot js, and here I'll have a rcc, obviously export default user greeting, and have that now, user greeting, save it, and that is done. Now here I'll have const. So is we are going to have something known as is logged in. Okay, so we are mimicking something like, suppose what happens, you might have gone to some site. When you don't log in, it shows hello guest, but when you log in, it shows hello whatever you log in. So this whole logic, so the login variable, we bring it through some means when you log in, we get some variables, we bring it through that. So that's a complicated thing. Okay, but that thing also I have teach in a lot of my big videos are there. So those things are there in that clones. Some of the clones on my popular clones, it is there. Okay, so that is there, but we are just going to be making it. Suppose it is false, then what to do, and how to show that welcome something or an other thing. Okay, so that is there. So I'll do it, and h1 welcome again do, and h1 welcome test, save it, and it will show both of these things. But I don't want to show both of these. My thing is that if it is false, is logged in is false, then welcome guest should be shown. If it is true, then welcome Navindra should be shown. So we want to conditional render it, and conditional render, and we're going to run conditional render. So there are four, I think, yeah, again 4 ways are there. Okay, always 4 ways. Okay, conditional render in React. Okay, so we are going to look into those 4 ways. So let's start it. Okay, and the first way is that we can use if statement also inside a render. If statement we can use. So how to use the if statement? Okay, so see, we are returning everything here. Okay, so instead of this, I will have if this dot state dot is logged in. Okay, I don't, if I have only one statement, I don't need anything. Okay, so I will have return this thing. I am returning this thing, or else return welcome guest. I will remove this thing. So these are the two ways. Means if this is the state that is logged in, right now it is false, so this one will be returned. See, welcome guest has been shown because is logged in is false. So let me make it to true. Save it, and welcome Nabendu will be shown. Okay, welcome Nabendu will be shown. Yeah, maybe I will pass the code today itself. Okay, so that is there. Okay, welcome Nabendu has been shown, and now this is the thing. Okay, now this is method number 1, but there is a issue in that method. It is said that returning multiple time is not a good thing, okay, in a React application. So we'll just rectify this thing. We'll return only once. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a let message. I'm going to create, and this message, instead of this returning, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a message. See, if we have something like this, we should have a tab. I'm not giving that curly bracket. So this is a JavaScript thing anyways. So message, I'm doing this message is equal to like this. And here also, instead of this return, I'll do this message, and this should be a tab. And this I have done. Now I have to return something. So I'll return the message actually. Return, and the message I want to return, let me return it inside a fragment, and message. I'll do save it. Same thing will come. Hello Nabendu is coming. This I will do a false, and this will come as guest. Hello guest. Okay. So this is the method number 2. But the method number 3 is the main method. Actually, that is used a lot in React, and you'll see that used a lot in React because that is the ternary operator. And when I was teaching ES6 also, I have told that thing. The ternary operator is used a lot in React because all of these things, React people believes to change everything in a one line of a code or something, and this is one line of a code. And even if it is not one line of code, I'll tell a way to use a ternary operator with one line of a code. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me comment this out all, and ternary operator will do, and return this dot state dot is logged in, ternary operator, ternary operator, and ternary operator I'm giving. And if it is true, then welcome Nabendu will be shown, or welcome guest will be shown. So this is the power of ternary operator. This if else statement, I have changed it to one single line. And if even if it is there are more than one single line, what we do generally in ternary operator, I will wrap it with a this like normal brackets, and I can give multiple statements, but we don't have right now, so I will not use it. So we can do that. So this is completely true thing, and this is what we use the most, ternary operator. Okay, so this welcome guest has been shown, then I'll do the true, and welcome Nabendu will be shown. So this is like this, how it is been shown. And we have a fourth method. Actually, it's not a fourth method. Actually, let me comment it out. Actually, it's a different kind of thing. So we have something known as the and. Okay, and we have, so return this dot state dot is logged in is there, and I'll have and. Okay, and is there, and we will have this welcome Nabendu only. So this is not a, it is like a if statement only, not a if else statement. Why? And so see, now it is true. So let me save it. Welcome Nabendu will be shown. The moment I'll do it false, nothing will be shown. So this is not exact replacement, but maybe it is like a if statement. Why it is a if statement? How it is working like a if statement? See what happens in a and an operator. We have seen what is and an operator means. It compares both of the side, it compares the left hand side also and compares the right hand side of the and give it thing. But there is a way in which internally and works. See, and an operator is a JavaScript thing, and it is so and is there, and or is also there. So internally what happens in and operator, see, if the left hand operand is false, it will not even go to the right hand. It will not even go to the right hand. If the left hand is false, it will not even go to the right hand side. So if this is true, then only it will go to the right hand side and it will show whatever it will do. So in our case, if it is true, it will then only show the right hand side. But if it is false, it will not even go to the right hand side. So that's why we use this trick a lot in React. And operator and ternary operator are the most used operator inside a render statement. Inside a render statement, we'll use this the most. Okay, so that is there. And okay, okay, so maybe we have time for, maybe we are going to do one more thing. And please fill the attendance form. It is very mandatory to fill attendance form on all 5 days. Okay, so we are going to look into list rendering. So list rendering is very important, and we are going to look into that. Okay, so let me make another thing known as person list.js, and here is okay. We'll make it a functional component because we are going to learn list rendering. It doesn't matter. We are not going to work with state or something. So what, see, list rendering. Okay, so first thing, we are going to render something very common, means if the person list is done. And as I've told earlier also, map is a very important thing in React. All, see, we have till now only we have used at least 5 6 concept of ES6. Object restructuring we have used, and uh, we are now going to use map. We have used a ternary operator, a lot of things of ES6, JavaScript, all those things we have used. Okay, so a most common ways to, in which React or any JavaScript also, you get anything is we will get array and we want to show it. So suppose I will have a const names equal to bindu comma comma with there I have like this, and I want to show this thing on a inside it. Okay, so how I can do that? Okay, so I have only one line, so it's better I will remove this thing. So we will use a maps here. Okay, map here. Okay, so names dot map. Why we are using map and not for each? First thing, it returns the thing, and the thing is that map returns the same number of element which is there. So if it is a array of 3 element, it will return the same number of thing. Okay, same number of array it will return, but we are going to add something to it so that it can be rendered on the screen. Okay, so like this I will add anything names dot map, and name, as we know, we can use anything. Name I'm going to use, and then I'm going to use the h1 is like name. I'm going to use and save it. Okay, and this person list is there, it is there, so it will show me this thing. Okay, but if I open the console, I will get a big red warning, not an error, big red warning. Okay, and red warnings are bad in React. Okay, so it is like that each child in the list should have a unique key prop. This is very important. So what React does means it will just give you a warning. It will not break the application or all, but you will get a lot of red warnings like this if you don't fix it. Okay, so React for internal purpose, each item of a list or array or whatever it is, list, anyways, we are through map, we are going to look through some list only or array. It should be unique, so we have to pass something unique, which is unique in the item. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to pass a key. which is unique. So most of the time, this kind of data we get from the database, we'll get an ID. In the famous MUN model, we get an ID from MongoDB also, so which is very unique. So something unique we have to use. Okay. So what unique I'm going to use? Names. In this case, name is, it's a very small thing. Name is unique, but in most of the other cases, name won't be unique because name might be the same name can be different. But in this case, the name is unique. Save it, refresh it. See, I'm not getting that error anymore. That error is gone. So this is something which you have to keep in mind. So now let us look into some real world rendering. Okay, so real world rendering we are going to look. Okay, so let us have a const persons equal to array of object. Array of object is a very important data structure which is used throughout the internet. Okay, array of objects. Okay, so I will have I will have an ID. So most of the time you'll always get an ID. Okay, ID is something which you always get. Okay, ID, name, age, name, which is wrong, name, age, maybe skill is React. Okay, so like this I will have. So this is, as I have told, this is the most common way. Okay, this is the most common way. Okay, so okay. So this is the most common way in which we get the array of object, and we will get the ID. Anyways, if you are going to get it from the database, IDs will be unique. But now how to render it and how we generally render it means we'll render it in the same way. But the thing is that return for sons dot map, and we can take anything. We'll take person, generally the singular thing we take. And what I'm going to do, this is the thing which we generally do. We generally don't call it here itself, means that part is generally done in another component. So person, it will be another component which I have not yet created. I will create it right now, and I have to pass the key. So key, we have ID which is unique, so it is person dot ID, and the whole person object also I'm going to pay send person is person. So each person will be actually one object, one object, one object. So one by one I will send the all the objects. So this person is actually not there. So this person, I will come here and I will call to the component person.js. I'll do person.js I've done. And this I don't need means I anyways I will create a function only. There also I have a functional only. So this is there, and I'm getting this props here. Let us destructure it here itself, and I'll destructure it here itself as a person, and h1 name is like person dot name p, and age is person dot age, and skills is person dot skill or skills I have taken. Skill I have taken. Okay, person dot skill I have taken. It's okay. And this person I have to import it also, because it will give me error. Person I have to import, save it. Now no error, and all the persons will be shown like this. Okay, so this is how we generally render in real world. Okay, so with this we have come to an end. Today I've taught a lot of things, and class base is a bit bigger, so it will take tomorrow. So tomorrow is a very important lesson because we are going to learn about lifecycle methods in React class based component. And when we are going to the hook based component, all the lifecycle methods are still there, and they are being converted to one hook known as use effect hook, which is very important. But if I will tell someone that I am going to use the use effect hook in a component did mount way, how will you understand what is component did mount? That is also another reason that you should know the class-based component. These lifecycle methods are there, and they are a way in which we can control the flow, and they are very important in React. Okay, they're very important in React, and that thing we are going to learn tomorrow. Hope you like this session. Please do like and subscribe so that it can reach to more people, and more people can live a happy life by becoming a web app developer, which is my motto. Okay, so with this I will end today's stream, and I will see you all tomorrow at